like I said, always a blessing when you can get in a room with people that can move the needle of your thought process or give you an answer to something that you may be stuck on. And I think one of the questions I want to pose, and either one of you could communicate on it, it really just comes down to the foundations of success. So both of you've had moves in your career, but the whole podcast is about for success. What will you do for success? And there's so many people that would do anything, right? That's what they say. I was listening to something earlier, and it was talking about the process. Is that sometimes we pray for all of these things to take place in our life, but then when you're in the middle of the process and you don't feel the success because people don't tell you about the work. People don't tell you about the consistency. They don't tell you about the hardship. They don't tell you when you fail. And then how do you fix these things? So like, how do you end up in a place that, first of all, how do you define success? That might even be the best question, right? And it may be a two-part question is how do you define success, right? And then, what's the next steps of a foundational point that will get you there?
Well, no, I think you having conversations and watching some things that Perry's doing, he's actually defying what success is. So I think he's perfect to kick this off.
So I'll kick it off by quoting Earl Nightingale. Earl Nightingale, if you guys aren't familiar with him, go Google him. Had this conversation almost 100 years ago now. And it's crazy when you think about that conversation, it's still relevant today. But kind of the backstory of the conversation is if you take 100 men, we just say 100 people, men and women, 100 people, at age 25, they all want to be successful. By age 65, I think it is, 1 will be wealthy, 5 will be financially independent, and everybody else will be broke. And they asked the question, it's like, man, so why is it that 95% of the population is broke and struggling? And the answer was, people just don't think. And what it came down to was understanding that success is the realization of a worthy ideal. And what I mean by that, and this is not my quote again, this is Earl Nightingale, when you are intentional about what your destination is and you're actually working towards that destination, you're successful. So if you say, if you're intentional and you think and you say, hey, I want to be the best housewife ever, and you're the best housewife ever because you were intentional about doing it, well, then you're successful. If I sat down and said I want to be a 7-figure entrepreneur, whether or not I'm a 7-figure entrepreneur or not, if I'm intentional about my actions moving towards that, the realization of a worthy ideal, then I'm successful, right? So success, a lot of people think is, this BS they see on social media. We was talking about the Lambos, the big crib. Yo, I got a big crib.
Right.
I got a Range Rover.
Right.
On my second one.
Right.
That's not success. Success is the realization of a worthy idea. And then for me to add on to what Earl Nightingale said is, I had a mentor ask me this question years ago. I was in network marketing at the time. I had just killed it doing a presentation in the living room, and he pulled me into the kitchen. He said, hey, Perry, that was a phenomenal presentation. He said, but do you want to be successful or do you want to be relevant? And I was like, well, I looked at him, I don't know the difference. He said, success is measured by what you accomplish. Relevance is measured by how many people you help become successful. At that point in time, I knew I wanted to be relevant. So I'll add that on to my definition of success. I really stole it. It's not my definition.
Right.
But I was in the right rooms
Right.
where people was talking about it differently.
And again, I think that's the point is that pliability, coachability is one of the biggest things that I see is consistent among people that are successful. How I know, even if I approach and I'm working with somebody that is dressing, right? It's like in your mind, you was fresh, but I seen 10 errors because of the years that I spent. I'm like, the jacket might be long, there's a trend going on. So what room are you going into that can maybe make you look even more progressive?
Got too many buttons.
Yeah, man. You have 5 of them. You have 5 of them, B.
Right.
Why you got 5 buttons?
Right.
Son, why you got 5 buttons?
And
yo?
too many pockets, yo.